Nobody out there, whether you're a rancher, a sportsman, or an environmentalist, wants to destroy a species. That's not the point. We all want to protect our environment, we all want to protect our wildlife, but we also want to bring some common sense to the decision making.
Earlier today I attended the listening session in Dillon, and I was saddened to hear that a producer over there ended up having to sell all their sheep. They just literally couldn't maintain their sheep herd with the wolves. I've also heard from people up in the Eureka area, from a gentleman that says this may be his last year in business. He's losing calves at a rate where he doesn't know how much longer he can hang on.
Those 120 sheep that were lost were primarily breeding rams that had been developed, genetics had been developed over 80 years by that family. I applaud the efforts to compensate victims who've lost sheep and cattle, but you cannot compensate for 80 years of lost genetics. My heart goes out to these people. This is not a limited situation. The numbers from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service indicate that 35,000 cattle, sheep, horses, dogs have been killed by wolves since 1987.
We're not asking to have the wolves totally removed. We know they're here. They're here to stay. Most of my outfitter friends, we look at them like we do the bears and the lions. We can live with them, and we just have too many. We talk about balance, and it sounds real good on a piece of paper, but when you get on the ground and actually see what that's like, trying to come up to that balance, and then thinking that we have the science, that we've been patient, we've sacrificed, and we've watched our main elk herd just 5 years ago in one of our main hunting districts up the West Fork go from 2,000 elk down to 700 elk, and you're thinking, wow, we're missing 1,300 elk. You know, that's a lot of wildlife. I don't think we have the balance.
There's no other state in the union you can pick up a bow in early September, switch to a rifle, and then switch back to a bow and be done hunting January 15th. And as sportsmen, we need to take some kind of accountability for what's going on right now. It's not just a wolf or a lion issue. Sportsmen play a large role in this. In Montana in particular, we need to take a vested interest in our herds and make sure we're doing the right thing.
My name is Sean Andrews, and I own and operate a taxidermy studio north of Missoula. And I employ 4 full-time people, so it's a legitimate, real business. And I would just like to just explain a few things about my business. I can walk through my showroom today, and there's probably $200,000 worth of finished taxidermy ready to be picked up, and of which there's one whitetail that came from wolf-infected areas. 5 years ago, 8 years ago, 80% of the work in my showroom would come from western Montana and Idaho. Today, one whitetail came from wolf-infected areas.
I just wanted to say that I think that it's outrageous that these people can come and sue the government for these lawsuits and then get paid to sue the government. And I think until that comes to an end, until they get off of the gravy train, which is what I think it is right now, that these lawsuits are not going to stop. So I think to begin with, we have to make it so that these organizations cannot get paid to sue the government. I do not agree with that. The other thing that I find very, very offensive is these defenders of wildlife. I don't know what the heck, they're defending one animal. What about all the animals that they kill? To me, that is very offensive.
They're in our urban interface. They're destroying our ranching community, and they are destroying a national treasure, our elk herds and our mule deer. There is no more deer on Jumbo. That mountain used to be covered with mule deer. Now they're gone.
In 1995, when they reintroduced the wolves to Yellowstone, there were 17,000 head of elk. Now there's only 7,000 elk. Okay? That's 10,000 elk that have disappeared. We always had the bear, we always had the mountain lion, we didn't always have the wolf.
We need to manage so that we have sustainable numbers so that the wolves are controlled. Right now they're completely out of control, and we need to push for aggressive predator control and not get rid of them. They're here. I know we're going to have some, but we need to manage them to protect our herds.
Yeah, my name is Mark Cook. I'm with Wolf Warriors. We're a pro-advocate group for the keeping wolves around for a while. We think Rehberg's attack on the ESA is definitely way off base, and to amend the ESA for special interest groups is wrong.
Well, it's ridiculous that the wolves are being upheld by the Endangered Species Act because they're not endangered. If a judge can use the Endangered Species Act to keep this multitude of wolves going beyond what the professionals say, then that act needs to be revised, and I hope that Denny will address that issue.
We have to recognize that they are and can be a problem that can be managed for the betterment of the endangered species, and none of us want to destroy that species, but what we do want to do is we want to have the opportunity to bring some common sense back into the Endangered Species Act for the purposes of accomplishing what we hope to accomplish. And so by working with you all, hopefully we'll bring forward something, whether it's in Washington, D.C., or supporting our governor, or supporting our surrounding governors for the opportunity to do the right thing to build a more secure future for our families, for our farms and ranches, for our outfitting businesses, for all the people that are peripherally involved, and ultimately for the state of Montana to do the right thing when it comes to the Endangered Species Act and the gray wolf. Thank you all for coming out this afternoon. Appreciate you being here.